Doug Weiss's son carried Joni Lamb's casket. Jonathan Lamb, her only son, the child Marcus Lamb named as his intended successor, did not. His name was not on the pallbearer list. It was not on the program. It was not called from the platform. And when Jonathan finally had something to say about his mother, he had to say it on Instagram, because the people who controlled that service made sure he had no other place to say it. Johnny Lamb's memorial service was held Monday, May 18th at Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. The program has now surfaced. The pallbearer list is known, and Jonathan Lamb's response to all of it has been posted, not from a pulpit, but from his social media page. Before we get into what happened inside Gateway Church on Monday, we need to start with Jonathan, because his response to being excluded sets the tone for everything that follows. After the service concluded, after he had been given no role, no platform, no acknowledgement, Jonathan Lamb posted a tribute to his mother on Instagram, and it is worth reading in full. He wrote, "I wanted to thank everyone for honoring my mom, Joni Lamb. She had a deep love for the Lord. She carried a real passion to see souls saved, always praying for people and believing God could change their lives. I loved how excited she'd get when she saw the Holy Spirit move and lives were transformed. She showed that same heart in how she loved me too. I'll never forget when she took the time to help me move into my college dorm room. She spent hours doing a deep clean, organizing everything, and setting it all up just right so I'd feel at home. And then this. We also had so many fun battles over the years. Cornhole in the backyard, Tetris on the couch, and those long, intense Scrabble games where she'd usually beat me and then laugh about it. She was crazy competitive, and I loved every minute of it." He closed with, "At the end of it all, it always came back to her love for the Lord and her passion to see souls saved. That's the legacy she leaves with us. I love you, Mom. It will be a beautiful reunion to see you and Dad again in heaven one day." That last line, to see you and Dad again. Marcus and Joni, together. Jonathan is holding on to both of them, and holding on to a version of this family that the living members seem determined to dismantle. This is not the tribute of an estranged son. This is not bitterness dressed up as grief. This is a man who clearly loved his mother, cornhole battles, Scrabble games, college move-in day and all, who was denied the chance to say any of it from the place where it belonged. He had to post it on social media because every other door was closed to him. Keep that in mind as we walk through what the official service actually looked like. The official memorial program removes all ambiguity. Jonathan Lamb had no role. His name does not appear anywhere on it. The tributes were given by 3 people: Doug Weiss, Joni's husband, Rachel Lamb Brown, her eldest daughter, and Rebecca Lamb, her younger daughter. That is the inner circle that was constructed for this moment: a stepfather and 2 daughters. Marcus Lamb's only son was not part of it. Now look at the pallbearers. The men chosen to carry Joni Lamb's casket included the husbands of her daughters, Jonathan Weiss and Joshua Brown. That is expected. Those are family by marriage. But also among the pallbearers, Jubal Weiss, Doug Weiss's son from his first marriage. Let that register. Doug Weiss's son from a previous relationship was given the honor of carrying Joni Lamb to her grave. Jonathan Lamb, Joni's own biological son, Marcus Lamb's heir, the man his father entrusted with the future of Daystar, was not. Pallbearer lists are not accidents. Programs are not accidents. Every name that appears and every name that is missing is a deliberate choice made by the people who controlled this service, and the people who controlled this service made sure Jonathan was nowhere in it. The presence of Jubal Weiss among the pallbearers raises a question that is uncomfortable but necessary. Is Doug Weiss's son being positioned as a replacement for Jonathan Lamb within this family's inner circle? A man connected to Joni only through her relatively recent marriage to Doug Weiss, while excluding the son she raised from birth. The son whose father founded the ministry she spent her life running. We have covered the tensions surrounding Joni's marriage to Doug Weiss on this channel. Jonathan and Susie Lamb were openly uncomfortable with it. They sought pastoral counsel, from Robert Morris of all people, about what that marriage meant for the family. That discomfort was documented and public. And now at the funeral, we see the outcome made visible. The Weiss family is inside the circle. Jonathan Lamb is outside it. Whether that reflects Joni's own wishes in her final months, or the wishes of Rachel and Rebecca, or the quiet consolidation of influence by Doug Weiss over the family dynamics, we cannot say with certainty. But the program doesn't lie. The pallbearer list doesn't lie. Beyond the program, the service itself was tightly controlled in ways that raised eyebrows. All attendees entered and exited through a single door, unless you were VIP or Daystar staff. Every person passed through a metal detector. Women's purses were individually searched. Signs were posted prohibiting photos, video, and audio recording of any kind. The same restrictions were enforced at the graveside service that followed. For a network whose entire identity is built on broadcasting ministry into living rooms around the world, the decision to keep Joni Lamb's memorial off-camera is remarkable. Daystar announced the service would not be live-streamed. It would air on Daystar television the following day, Tuesday, May 19th, edited and broadcast on the network's own terms. Some people never made it inside at all. Podcaster James White, a well-known figure in Reformed apologetics, traveled 2 hours to attend and was turned away at the door. Reports indicate he was not the only independent Christian media figure denied entry. The room was curated. Access was controlled. Attendance was described by those present as no more than 500 people, possibly fewer. For the president of the world's second-largest religious television network, that is a strikingly small gathering. And reports indicate a number of attendees left mid-service. For a service with such tight restrictions on who could enter, the platform roster was notable. Phil Driscoll performed. Nicole C. Mullins sang. Gentes and Franklin spoke. Joel Osteen addressed the congregation. Video tributes played from Paula White, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and President Donald Trump, each speaking to Joni's impact and legacy. Rachel spoke, Rebecca spoke, Doug Weiss spoke. Jonathan did not. The blogger, whose account has been widely circulated, summarized it this way. Even in the death of their mother, neither Rachel nor Rebecca had it in their heart to include or even acknowledge their brother. That is truly shameful. Not surprising, but shameful. Death always seems to bring out the best and worst in people. We see now which side the Lamb girls fall on. That is hard to argue with when you look at the program. Jonathan Lamb ended his tribute with a hope of reunion, his mother and father together again in a place where none of this reaches. That is a gracious thing to hold on to. It is also, in its quietness, a devastating contrast to what his sisters chose to do this week. Daystar was built by Marcus and Joni Lamb. Marcus wanted his son to carry it forward. Whether Jonathan ever gets that chance now depends on a board operating in the shadows of an organization that just showed, through a funeral program and a pallbearer list, exactly where its loyalties lie. We will keep watching, and we will keep reporting. If this video gave you something to think about, share it and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments, especially if you have additional context on what took place at Gateway on Monday. We'll see you on the next one.